Thank you so much for joining today. Let's start today's practice coming down into a constructive rest. We'll come back onto our backs. And as always, if laying flat on your back doesn't feel good, feel free to maybe invite a pillow or something else to help lengthen the spine at a bit of an angle. Or lay flat on your back with your shoulders pressed against the ground, your knees bent, feet flat against the floor. The knees can point up towards the ceiling, or maybe you widen the feet, letting the knees come and touch in the middle. And as you settle here, maybe you rest your hands on your body. Maybe you let them lay by the sides, palms up. Or feel free to take any other resting variation that feels good for you. Knowing that throughout our practice, you have authority to move into any position that feels good in your body at that moment. Now, as we rest here, start to take long, slow breaths in, and long, intentional breaths out. We'll take this moment to begin to notice how the sensations in our bodies are feeling. Maybe there's aches or pains. Maybe there's energy or lack of. Maybe there's anxiety or worry. Or maybe it's just a feel-good kind of day. Notice all those emotions, feelings that are percolating throughout your body. And then see if you can take that mental acknowledgement of all of that, physical, the emotional, the mental. Put it in a box. Close the lid mentally. And then set it off to the side. And you can always choose to return to that after our time here together. For the rest of the class. We'll let that percolate over to the side as we simply breathe here, acknowledging what we feel in each present moment. We'll take that deep, slow breath in. We'll start to add a pause at the top, holding the air in for as long as feels comfortable in our lungs today, before our slow, gentle exhale out. If you enjoy the counting of a breath, you're always welcome to count that pause, maybe counting to 10 or however amount that you get to for the holding it. Again, just as comfortably as you can without starting to struggle before you exhale to release. And we'll continue to take this deep listening breath, this silent moment at the top of each breath to pause. Bring yourself back to the present moment with each pause, with each moment of waiting. Sometimes waiting can feel very hard, like we want to move on to the next thing. And see if you can start to lean into that pause, that silent place in the middle. We'll continue with this breath through the rest of our grounding meditation, letting the pause bring you back to the moment. back to the breath. As we learn to practice patience, not only with ourselves, but also with others, and with life situations that we find ourselves in, we can learn to be patient, not only with ourselves, but with others. Of course, it's very natural to want another human to act in a certain way, to want ourselves to follow an ideal, or to want a situation to work out a certain way. Or maybe have someone say a certain thing. But we need to remember that we can't control other people or even situations that involve others. This is a lesson that I'm reminded of often, especially when I care about something a lot or love the person. And I find that I suffer when I expect someone to show up in any certain way. Maybe I want them to call or text or spend time with me in a way that I want on my timeline. But the world doesn't work like that. Love doesn't work like that. And patience is needed. If we approach it mindfully, waiting is actually a beautiful thing. So as we take a few more of those deep listening, those silent moment breaths, maybe sense how there's been any urgency in your life lately towards yourself, towards another being, or maybe towards a situation. And as you percolate and breathe, notice how that urgency shows up in your body, how it feels. Now with each breath, try to invite patience into that moment, situation, or desire. Beautiful job. We'll go ahead and finish up our current cycle of deep listening breath, knowing that we can call on that breath throughout our practice today as a great mental focus to draw us back to the moment. We'll take our next natural breath to offer ourselves a moment of gratitude, thanking ourselves for taking time to be here. Taking time to be a little patient, not only with your breath, but also with your movements and your practice today. As you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes, maybe flutter the eyes open. Feel free to take a stretch if you'd like, and then find your way to meet me into a seated position, getting there in whatever way feels good for you in this moment. As we come into a comfortable seated position, maybe you add a prop under your hips, giving your hips a little bit more of a forward pelvic tilt. You can keep those legs in a crisscross applesauce, or you could even send them out long, finding a comfortable position that you can sit and keep your spine long here though. And then let's start to bring our hands to a prayer at heart center, letting the elbows kind of pull out left to right as you press a little bit into the hands. And then with your exhale, draw your chin down towards your torso, opening up through the back of the neck, and draw your shoulders back and towards the wall behind you just a little bit, feeling that opening through the back of the neck. Now with our inhale, we're going to start to squeeze our elbows towards each other and down towards our belly, which will cause our fingertips to kind of lift up in front of our face, and use that action to allow your chin to start to guide up towards the ceiling a little or a lot. And those elbows don't even have to touch, but they can if that's available in your body. And then as you exhale, we'll reset chin to chest, elbows left to right. Start to find this movement within your own body, inhaling up, exhaling down. Noticing the movement in your body, and maybe challenging yourself to see if you can go a little slower. You can have a little more patience with your transition from one space to the next. And instead of thinking of the destination as the goal, think of the waiting, the movement, the transition, all of it as the goal. All right, last time. And then go ahead and bring those hands back to heart center. Exhale to release hands onto the knees. Lengthen the spine here. And then let's exhale and find a little cat-cow, drawing the spine back, rounding through the spine, and then inhaling, pulling the heart forward. Find that forward and back movement that feels good in your spine, noticing how that feels to undulate as you move through the spine. The next time your heart is forward, pause there, holding it, really exaggerate the movements. Heart pulls forward, shoulders pull back, chin lifts, back bend. Exhale to slowly transition into your cat, rounding the spine back, chin comes towards torso, shoulders towards ears. Again, exaggerating it, really feeling that rounding through the spine this time as we hold for another 3, 2, 1. We come back to our straight spine. Alrighty, you can keep your hands on your knees or you can let them fall by your sides, but we're going to take 3 shoulder circles, bringing our shoulders up towards our ears and then down and around. And then let's reverse that. All right, inhale, bring those arms out wide to a T, palms face down. We'll take our right hand under our left hand, come into our eagle hug. So we grab our hands towards our shoulders, walk them up the arms as much as feels good here. And instead of going into our eagle arms, we're gonna pause here. We're gonna play here a little bit. So with our next inhale, I want you to start to lift your elbows away from your torso and notice the back bend that starts to come in. And then with your exhale, drop your elbows towards your torso and round through the spine. We'll take this again with your own breath, but seeing if you can slow it down. Really allow yourself to feel the exaggerated movements that you're allowing your body to make. And being patient with your body if it maybe doesn't feel exactly the way you want it to. But allowing yourself to be present in what the body feels like in this moment. Inhale last time. Exhale to release elbows. Release arms out to a T. And then let's take left arm under right. Coming into our hug, noticing the difference, what feels the same. Maybe what feels completely weird or neutral or what it feels like at all. And then start to lift the elbows. And then exhale to round. Take it at your own pace for about 3 to 5 breaths. Great job. All right, last time. Exhale to release. Releasing the arms. And let's go ahead and add some lower body movement. Let's come on to tabletop. Bringing hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Always welcome to maybe roll up your mat or add a little cushioning under the knees. We're not going to be here super long, but you might want a little added cushion if you're on a hard surface. Your toes can be tucked or untucked depending on what feels best for you. And start to straighten out the spine, making sure that there's no curvature from the hips all the way to the top of the head. And then take just a couple of cat-cows here. A little bit freer undulation of the spine, maybe rocking forward and back or making any other movements you'd like while you take your cat-cows. Okay, go ahead and find a little bit of a pause here. Drop your elbows right where your hands just were. You can keep your hands parallel to each other and palms flat, or you can bring the hands into a diamond shape by interlacing the fingers. And then start to walk the knees back as we come into a poppy pose here. Allow the forehead to sink towards the ground, a little or a lot. Hips stay high. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Noticing the opening through those shoulders. We did a lot of shoulder work to start things off, so just giving them a moment to settle in. Great job. Inhale to come through your tabletop. And then let's find our way up to our standing mountain pose. Beautiful job. All right, from our mountain pose, let's find a surface like maybe a chair or wall, something that's secure, and we're going to take a downward facing dog. Of course, you're always welcome to take that on the floor as well, but we'll bring our hands about shoulder distance apart. Start to bring those hips back as we come up onto the toes, maybe pedal the knees, shifting the weight left to right, and really press into those hands, lengthening the spine here. Take about 3 deep breaths and maybe a sigh on the exhale. Eventually settling into stillness with your body as you take those deep breaths. Great job. Now we're going to look back towards our feet. And we're going to slowly begin to walk our hands into a forward fold position. So maybe have a prop nearby and see how slowly you can make the transition from your downward dog to your forward fold.
Press into our hands, we halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, take that slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Once your shoulders arrive, go ahead and circle arms up and overhead for tall mountain. We'll drop the right hand to the right hip, and then let's lean it over into a right side bend, taking the left hip over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, left hand down, right hand over. Inhale through center. As we reach up, maybe the hands come together in a prayer. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge into our forward fold, slicing through the air in front of us as our hands come back down to a prop of our choice. Pressing into our hands, we halfway lift, figure 7. We're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of extra movement here. So take our right foot, cross it in front of the left foot. Now feet can be touching, or there can be a little space. It could be a little forward or a little back, whatever feels the most stable for you. And for even more stability, bring your hips up against a wall while we take this variation. All right, from here, we're going to walk our hands, maybe our prop as well, over towards the left side of our mat. Taking it in a twist through the hips. Great job. Come back through center. Over to the opposite side. Beautiful job. Come back through center. Press into the hands to halfway lift. Uncross the feet and switch the cross so the opposite foot is in front. And then maybe noticing the difference, how this feels. As we exhale, we twist to the left. Back through center to the right. Beautiful job. Back through center. Uncross the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe taking the option of airplane arms, lifting the hands up towards the hips, palms face down and squeezing pinkies in towards each other. A little bit of a core challenge here. Great job. Exhale to release, forward fold. Bend the knees, slow roll up to mountain. Great job. Inhale, circle arms up and overhead. Let's go ahead and take our left foot back, just about a foot coming up onto the heel, or lifting the heel, coming up onto the toes. And then we'll take our side bends again. Right hand to right hip, we lean to the right. Inhale through center, step that left foot back in, right foot steps back, left hand down, lean into the left. Inhale to bring it back through center. Exhale, step it in. We'll end with our mountain in a prayer pose. Beautiful job there. All righty. Let's come into our mountain. We'll inhale, let the arms float up. Exhale, slice through the air as you hinge and forward fold. This time we're going to bring our hands down towards maybe some blocks or the props or the floor. And we're going to step back into our tabletop position. So we'll start with our tabletop position here. Again, hands maybe on the floor or on props. And then let's go ahead and send our right foot back. Tuck the toes under and take the heel back behind you, stretching through the back of the calf. Great job. Now with our next inhale, make sure your opposite toes are tucked, and then start to bring a bend into that extended knee. Heel presses up towards the ceiling. And then open that hip. See what that feels like to stack the hips. Great job. Bring it back to that bent knee position, foot towards the ceiling. And then let's go ahead and step it through for a low lunge. Bringing that front and back, that foot forward. go ahead and start to shift the hips forward. Maybe bring your hands up onto your knee, maybe onto a prayer, or maybe even allowing your hands to come alongside the ears or hold on to a prop of your choice. We're gonna add just a little bit of extra movement here from our crescent lunge. And with our next exhale, we're gonna cactus the arms. And as we cactus the arms, we're gonna shift the hips forward just a little bit, deepening into the lunge position. Inhale to press your hands to a prayer. And then start to lift the hands up overhead as you come back out, stacking hips and spine in a straight line. We'll take this on your own. Cactus. Prayer hands. Lift the hands, straighten the legs a little bit. Cactus and deepen. Take it at your own pace. All right, we're gonna take it just a little bit deeper. This time, when the arms lift overhead, we're gonna pull it back like a half runner split. Cactus and deepen. Prayer hands, we start to come out of it. Lift overhead, continue back. One more time on this side. Great job. Now we're gonna pause here. We're gonna lift the toes of that front leg, and then with an exhale, hinge over that front leg into a forward fold over that half runner's lunge. Great job. Go ahead and roll through. Bring your hand, the front hand, the same one as the front leg, inside of that front leg. Walk the toes over so you're coming into a little bit of a lizard lunge. Start to let that front knee pull a little bit to the front, out to the side. Could even roll onto the side of the foot if that feels good for you as well. Let's go ahead and pause here. We're going to take it into a twist. So we'll keep the opposite hand on the floor or a prop and start to lift the same hand as that front knee. You can lift it to the knee itself, or maybe start to send it back behind you as you take your lizard twist. Great job. Exhale to release. Hands to the floor. Shift the hips back. Come into a tabletop. Great job. All right, we'll take that side too. Left foot steps back. Calf stretch. Kind of rocking over the foot a few times if you'd like, or simply pull the heel back. Inhale, start to bend the extended leg, kicking the heel towards the ceiling, engaging your glute, engaging your core. You're doing great. All right, now we're going to stack the hips. Exhale, bring the hips back to neutral. Step it through, low lunge. Take your time to build your foundation from the ground up. Again, if you're feeling wobbly, make sure to widen your legs. You're doing great. When you're ready, start to find a crescent lunge of your choice. And then we're going to start to find that flowing movement on our own. So as we exhale, we sink into cactus arms, bring a bend into the knee. Hands come to prayer at heart center. We lift out of the deep lunge. And as we inhale, we straighten that front leg. Hands lift overhead. Take it at your own pace. For about 3 to 5 rounds of breath. Maybe even starting to allow that deep listening breath. Letting your hands at prayer be your pause. Last time through. Pause with the leg extended, peel the toes up. Exhale, hinge and forward fold over that front leg. Inhale, roll through low lunge. Bringing outside hand inside, lizard lunge. Walking front foot to the side, maybe letting the knee fall open a little bit or a lot. Sinking into the hips. Opposite hand stays on the floor, your prop. Inhale to twist it. Front hand back. Great job. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Go ahead and sink the hips back as you come into a tabletop. And then from our tabletop, we're gonna bring our hands under our shoulders. We're gonna slide our heart forward as we come into a plank or a half plank. You can leave those knees down and lift the toes, or tuck the toes and lift the knees, but we're straight through the spine. We're engaging our core here. You're doing great. On your exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Pausing here, flipping to the tops of the feet, hands under shoulders and elbows squeezing by the sides. We press into the palms to pull the forehead and shoulders away from the mat. Baby cobra. Exhale to release. Take a few rolling cobras here on your own, pressing into the hands to lift the spine. Maybe coming up a little higher each time, or going up as high or low as feels good through your spine as you undulate and work through it. Great job. Last breath here. Exhale to release, forehead to the mat. Inhale, push up to tabletop. And then let's go ahead and tuck our toes and come to stand on our knees here. We'll send the right leg out long, tucking the foot down, keeping our left toes tucked. And let's send our right leg hand long along that leg and start to take our left hand up and over. For gate pose. Great job. Exhale to release. Step that side in, opposite side extends. Extending hand down the leg, inhaling right arm up and over. Great job. Inhale through center. Exhale, let the hands release. Bring the other foot in. And then let's go ahead and come on back up to standing. All righty, we're going to take just a little balance challenge here. You're always welcome to have yourself a little closer to a surface that you can hold on to. You also might want to have a strap for this option as well. So we're going to begin to shift our weight to the right, start to kick our left heel up towards our hip. Now you can capture it with your hand, you can capture it with a strap, hold your pant leg, or you could even bring a prop under your leg or a surface like a wall. So it's really up to you. Our goal here is to find a nice stretch through our hip flexor as we drop our knee down towards the floor. A little or a lot. Been working on this pretty consistently over the last few weeks, so maybe you've noticed a little bit more stability throughout the couple weeks, or maybe you've noticed a little more give in the knee, a little closer to the heel to the hip option. You're doing great. One more breath here. Our exhale, we're gonna release the foot and start to bring it in front of us, knee bent in a standing staff. Great job. Now we're gonna find a standing half splits. So to do that, you're always welcome to touch that foot down. Maybe have a prop in front of you. Again, it's up to you how you transition, having patience with your body as you move through this. Start to send that foot back like it's coming towards your heel, but then find your forward fold. And start to kick that back foot up towards the ceiling. Now you can extend the leg long, or you can keep a bend in the knee. And again, it could even be resting on a prop here. Your hands could be on any surface that feels good, from a prop to the floor, or maybe trying to grab around your ankle, one hand or both hands at a time. Our goal here is to really lift from the heel and keep the hips in a neutral position, not stacking them like we did in that pose a few moments ago. Beautiful job. We'll come out of this the same way we came in, inhaling to come back into knee lifted in front of us. Great job. Now send that leg out long, point the toes away, and see how slowly you can bring your foot back towards the floor. Great job. All right. Great sequence. We'll take that on side 2. Shift your weight to the other foot. Begin to kick your heel towards your hips. Find your balance. Find your breath. Maybe you're even taking that deep listening breath as a reminder that the pause brings you back to the moment. The pause brings you back to waiting. You're either staying here, you're always welcome to just work on this balance, or we come into standing staff with knee bent in front of us. Doing great. Now we're going to find our standing splits. What comes behind you kicks up towards ceiling. Forehead reaches towards standing leg. You're doing great. See if you can lift it just a touch higher. Let's transition back out of it. Standing staff. This time extend the leg. That feels appropriate in your body. Beautiful release. This is slow, steady, bringing foot to the floor. Great job. All right. Inhale, tall mountain. Step the left foot back, lean to the right. Come back through center. Step the foot up, switch sides. Lean to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, cut through the air with prayer hands as you hinge into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and pause here. You can keep your hands where they are, or you can grab opposite elbows. But we're going to take a rag doll. We're going to start to sway from side to side, bending knees, lifting heels, shaking head, or sliding jaw. Feel free, any movement here. Beautiful job. Last breath here. Find stillness. Press into hands, halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, figure 7, maybe airplane arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, figure seven, maybe airplane arms. Exhale, shoot those arms alongside the ears, a little bit extra core engagement. Bring them back, hands by hips. And then lift one heel and then the other as we experience a little toe balance here. Now you're also welcome to lift both heels if that would be part of your practice, but being mindful not to tip over and fall here. So if one at a time feels better, keep it that way. Alrighty, from our exhale, release your hands into your forward fold. Take it really deep. Bend the knees, step it down, tabletop. Feel free to maybe take a cat-cow or any movement you might like here. And then we'll transition to a seated staff. Sending the legs long in front of us. Sitting up straight through the spine. Just like before, you're always welcome to have a prop under your hips here. Lengthening our spine. Maybe sending the arms up long into the air. And with an exhale, start to hinge the heart towards the toes. Maybe reaching hands towards feet, towards legs, or grabbing that strap, wrapping it around the feet. Allow yourself to lean into the rounding through the spine, lowering the heart towards the knees. And just like any of these extended leg poses, you can always keep a bend in your knees. That feels better through your hamstrings, allowing those muscles to release a little at a time with gravity. And it can sometimes feel really nice if you take that bent knee version to bring a rolled up blanket or maybe a pillow to support the backs of the knees. All right, great job. Go ahead and inhale to roll up. If you had any props from straps to pillows or even the block under your hips, go ahead and remove all of that. We're gonna point our toes away from us. We're gonna bring our arms up to shoulder height, again, in the zombie walk, fingers pointing away from us. We're gonna start to engage our core. And just like an opposite of that rolling cobra, I want you to start to round through the spine and then see if you can lower one vertebra at a time onto the mat, controlling the muscles of your abdominals to control the slow, intentional descent to the floor. Once the shoulders arrive, go ahead and circle those arms overhead for a full body stretch. Stretching fingers and toes in opposite directions. Big, beautiful breath there. Great job. With an exhale, circle hands to the hips. Go ahead and bring the feet into a constructive rest or even scrunch those heels a little closer to your hips. We'll bring our hands next to our hips. And then with our next inhale, let's begin to push into the feet, lifting the hips, letting them levitate off the floor as we squeeze our glutes. And then grab a prop like your block or a pillow, slide it under those hips and let it come down to rest. In a beautiful bridge supported variation. Now, maybe you find a little movement here. It could be nice to rock the knees left to right. Could be nice to take a butterfly, letting the soles of the feet come together, the knees widen. You could also hug the knees in towards your chest, or take the legs out wide into a V, or pointing them towards the ceiling, or take any ankle rolls. So really use this supported bridge as a time to explore whatever your movement in your lower body that you might be wanting. And again, maybe that's simply to rest in bridge pose. That's a great option. But maybe you take a frog or a happy baby. There are really countless options. You take a figure 4 from your bridge pose. That can feel really nice in opening the hips. We'll count this as a little yogi playtime for just another breath or two. Great job. All right. Finding stillness, coming back into your bridge pose. As we inhale, we squeeze our glutes, lifting our prop out from under our lower back, and then slowly roll it back down to the mat. Great job keeping those knees wide. Take a gentle windshield wiper, just 2 to 3 times left to right to reset the spine. Now bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open wide into a reclined butterfly pose. If you want to add a little cushioning or a little support, feel free to add blocks or blankets or pillows under the knees. If laying on your back, maybe you're feeling stuffy, or for another reason it doesn't feel good, you're always welcome to bring yourself at a bit more of an angle. Using whatever props feel right in this moment for you. Now, maybe you keep your hands on your body, maybe on the abdomen, maybe one on the heart, maybe on the thighs. Or just like that opening, maybe we allow the hands to face palm, face up in a moment of receiving. You're doing a beautiful job. All right, with our next breath, go ahead and bring the knees towards each other, separate the feet. Again, windshield wiper the knees a little left to right. And then as you're ready, we'll settle into our final resting pose. You could take a corpse pose, laying out flat on your mat. You could take that constructive rest that we started class with, or you could really add any of your props, taking legs up the wall, adding a blanket or a sweater. Take whatever movements and make whatever adjustments you need to, so that you can start to come into a place that you can relax on command. And as you settle in to a place that feels like stillness in your body, we'll take one last deep listening breath. Breathing in fully, pausing, holding that breath at the top, that extended pause. But before it starts to feel like you're struggling, release into your exhale. Maybe close the eyes or soften the gaze if you haven't already. And really transition in. Allow yourself to settle into your stillness. Begin to feel the gentle support of the earth beneath you. Take another deep breath in and fill your lungs completely. And then exhale slowly, starting to release any tension. Letting your body sink deeper into relaxation. See if you can repeat that breath. Inhale to release tension. Exhale, sinking deeper into relaxation. Repeating that breath 2 more times, with each breath inviting in a sense of calm and grounding. Now, as your breath returns to its natural rhythm, we bring our awareness to the present moment. We notice the subtle rise and fall in our abdomen, the soft sounds that surround you, the temperature of the air on your skin. This is your time to simply be, to rest in the fullness of this moment. As we feel the ground beneath us,
supporting us. Maybe we begin to imagine roots growing from our body down into the earth, grounding you here firmly. With each breath, feeling more connected to the earth, stable and secure. This grounding is the foundation of your patience. We recognize that just as the earth supports us, patience supports our journey. We'll begin to shift our focus onto our breath. With each inhale, we invite in calmness and patience. With each exhale, let go of any impatience or frustration. Feeling the soothing rhythm of your breath. A reminder that patience is a natural part of your being. Each breath is a moment of mindfulness, a pause that allows you to embrace this moment. Today, we focused on the practice of patience. Patience with ourselves, patience with others, and patience with the situations we find ourselves in. In our fast-paced world, we often feel pressure to act quickly, to rush, to achieve, to reach an end goal. Yet there is a profound beauty in the act of waiting mindfully, in embracing the stillness and allowing things to unwind in their own time. As we begin to turn our attention inward, we reflect on moments in our life where we have felt impatient with ourselves lately. Perhaps there have been times when you wish to be further along on a journey, frustrated by perceived setbacks or delays. In the space of our meditation, I invite you to release that frustration, allowing yourself to embrace your journey and understanding that growth often requires time. Patience with ourselves means accepting that it's okay to take things slow, to learn at our own pace, and to be gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. When we are patient with ourselves, we cultivate self-compassion. We honor our own timing, recognizing that every step, no matter how small, is part of our path. We'll start to imagine a serene place of our choice where we feel completely at peace. Maybe it's someplace you've been to many times before. Maybe it's only here in your imagination in this moment. It could be a forest or a beach, or a simple, quiet room. But as you visualize yourself in this place, visualize yourself waiting patiently. See yourself embracing the present moment without any rush or urgency. Noticing how this patience feels in your body and mind. Begin to imagine interactions with others
where you respond with patience or understanding. Maybe visualizing situations where waiting becomes a beautiful act of mindfulness, allowing you to fully experience that moment. Now we'll begin to shift our focus outward, thinking of times when we've been maybe impatient with others, perhaps a friend or a family member, or someone at the grocery store or on the road. Notice how impatience can create tension, distance, even frustration. But what happened when we allowed ourselves to wait earlier? When we offer others the space to move at their own pace, won't the same thing happen? Patience with others is an act of kindness, a way of saying, I see you and I respect your journey. It's an invitation to connect to the present moment, to listen fully, and to respond with understanding rather than urgency. When we are patient with others, we create a space for deeper connection and mutual respect. Waiting, when done mindfully, is not a passive act. It's a powerful practice of presence. Waiting allows us to be fully here, to experience the richness of the moment without rushing to the next thing. It's an opportunity to observe, to breathe, and to trust that everything will unfold as it should. Lastly, we'll imagine ourselves in a situation where we might feel impatient, perhaps waiting in line or for an important event to happen. Instead of feeling restless, bring your awareness to your breath, to the sensations in your body. Notice the world around you, the colors, the sounds, even subtle movements. This is the beauty of waiting mindfully. It's a chance to immerse yourself in the present, to find peace in the pause. I am patient with myself and others. I am patient with myself and others. I embrace the beauty of waiting. I embrace the beauty of waiting. Patience brings peace and clarity. Patience brings peace and clarity.
I trust the timing of my life. I trust the timing of my life. Waiting mindfully enriches my experiences. Waiting mindfully enriches my experiences. Taking a few more deep breaths. Allow a feeling of calmness or patience to wash over you that you've cultivated here in this day. Taking this moment to notice how you feel as you take the deepest breath of your day so far. Knowing that you can carry this sense of patience with you as you move throughout your day, appreciating the beauty of each moment. When you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes. A full body stretch or any movement you'd like. And then in your own time and in your own way, meet me in an upright position, facing me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time.